What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 114, and we start today's episode off with a game against Norwich City here away at Carrow Road as we come to take on the Canaries. And of course, if you missed the last episode, highly recommend you go back and watch it. We just got given the England job, so this game comes a few days after we take on the nation, of course, that the club is in, and obviously I'm from, so it's all good to be England manager. And yeah, it was amazing to have that job offer come for us. Like I genuinely never expected it. It's one of those things where, you know, people kept telling me, and it was always funny seeing people send me Instagram photos and Twitter photos and just tweet me and in the comments saying, oh, I got the England job after 1 year, I got the England job after my second season with United or whatever else. You know, how comes you never get the England job? And I always used to be like, I don't know, I feel like I've just got some curse on me, you know, they'll never come in for me. But finally they did accept the offer, and that means that of course we will be looking at players for both the club and country, which is really good, to be honest, because, you know, as you guys know, I do like to try and sign as many players that come from the same nation as the club. I don't know why I do that, I just always do, regardless of what game I'm playing, you know, FIFA, Football Manager, whatever else. And that does mean as well that their overalls are not going to be masked anymore. So when I want to sign a player, I don't know, let's just say someone like Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, someone like that, their overall won't be masked. And that's one of the main reasons I really wanted to manage England, because I know that I wanted to scout them anymore, and they'll just be there for me to look at. But still, we did take on Norwich for the first game of today's episode. Had to put behind the England job offer and start to concentrate back with the club. And as you can see, we took the lead early on in this game. Lacazette scoring, Declan Rudd getting a ball smacked in his head there as it goes into the back of the net. Lacazette gets his 10th goal of the season, and with Lacazette, like he's one of those players who he's such a great striker, you know, and everything, but he's a support striker to play for Niang, and sometimes he doesn't seem to look as good, if you know what I mean, like as good as a player as he probably could be, because, you know, often I'll be looking for the pass for Niang with the form he's in, and you know, sometimes it's hard to showcase his goal scoring talents, but as he gets his 10th goal of the season there in 22 games, it does go to show you that he's still a fantastic striker, and he does open the scoring. Niang there missed a really good chance, and then Johnny Howson's shot was well saved by Joe Hart as the score remained at 1-0, and in the 40th minute here, Zambrano plays his free kick short to Jack Wilshere, and Wilshere has space, so I thought I'll give it a go, see if he can score from range, and it hits the underside of the bar, comes down, and eventually Andre Carrillo is flagged for offside, I think it is, and it's still 1-0, so Wilshere hitting the woodwork there, but unfortunately the scoreline was only by 1 goal with us leading. But in the 64th minute, Ricardo Rodriguez, our left back, finds Lacazette down the right hand side. He's got the pace on Olsen, he's not catching up, but unfortunately the shot is saved by Declan Rudd and Norwich clear, so still only 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion, and I was wondering whether we'd pay for that. And in the 79th minute, Ricky van Wolfswinkel goes for a header, it goes up in the air. Bradley Johnson finds Ricky van Wolfswinkel, who gives it to Cameron Jerome, and the former Stoke and Birmingham and loads of other club striker shoots, but it's a good stop by Joe Hart at the near post, and it is out for a corner. And it was how the game finished as well, so another 1-0 victory, so many in the Premier League this year, but most importantly, another 3 points. And as a travelling fan to celebrate, you know, I said in the last episode, I really don't want to jinx this, but with the gap we have in terms of points in the league, it is just so unlikely that any team is going to catch us. But of course, we can't afford to be naive, so we need to keep on getting those wins and making sure we keep on getting those points. But still, we also saw that Hellas Verona have said they're not going to match £3 million for Kim Seung-gyu, which is fine, because as a backup goalkeeper, he rarely does complain, to be fair. Even though he did have a little bit of a whinge about his contract this year, he doesn't complain too much. He doesn't get in the team or anything, so he's a safe pair of hands as a backup goalkeeper, so I'm glad he's staying. Lacazette's happy he's getting in the team a lot, and also we got some money for the FA Cup draw being made, and we also then decided to try and sign some players on a pre-contract. And as you can see, there are loads of players here that we go in for. I'm going to try and see if I can remember them all. We've got Szczesny, Krychowiak, who else? Okay, Paco Alcacer, Aitaratse, Jorginho, Icardi. Who are the other ones? Let's see if I can remember. I know Hernandez and Icardi are there. Strootman's there. And I'm missing one. But anyway, there's loads and loads of other players. I think it might be Daley Blind. There's loads of players we go in for here, and you're probably sitting there thinking, you know, it's all well and good you trying to sign those players on pre-contracts and everything, but you don't have the money to sign every single player that has their contract at the end of the year. Why are you offering them all contracts? Well, the reason being is quite simple. It's going to be your choice. We'll be signing one of these players. I think it's about 8 or 9 players we go to sign, and you guys will be choosing who we sign. It's December the 13th for me, so you'll be watching this video like a a week later. And basically today I'm going to be putting up a Twitter poll, and I'm going to leave it up for 24 hours, and basically whoever has the most votes, that's the player we'll sign. So I don't know, I really like letting you guys sign players, because career mode is great and I really do enjoy it and everything, and I know you guys love it, but it's very hard as a YouTuber that plays a week in advance to make sure that I can get you guys involved in the series in some way and make it interactive. And you know, I have to record a week in advance to make sure that I can guarantee having 2 videos a day, and it's always difficult to know that it's hard to let you guys make decisions, which is why I always recommend to follow me on Twitter, because there's always something going on where I'll tweet out and I'll say, what do you guys think about this, and you guys can make the decision. And this is just one of those things, you know, you guys can choose the player we sign, and I'm going to try and make sure I do this at least once a year as well. I'll try and make it once a season, if not at the very least, then once every 2 seasons. Where I'll basically say, you know, I'll choose a list of like 5 to 10 players on pre-contracts, and I'll say, okay, what player should I sign? I'll offer them all contracts. They should all hopefully accept it, fingers crossed. And I'll say, okay, which player do you want me to sign? And you guys will have the final say. It just gets you guys involved. It makes you feel interactive. We work together, and yeah, there you go. So it's always recommend following me on Twitter. It is at @Doclanders. There's a link to my Twitter in the description below as well. And yeah, there you go. But still, we take on Chelsea for the second and final game of today's episode here, and as you would have just seen by the league table, 16 games remaining. We are 16 points clear of Chelsea and Hull City as well, who are in second place, as Chelsea are in third. So really, as Chelsea came to the Hawthorns, they knew that failure to win this game, they're probably out of the title race, and it's crazy to think that with, you know, still 16 games to go, but that's just the way the season's gone. Everything has gone our way, and every other club has been largely disappointing. But as we do take on Chelsea, the first chance would fall here in the 17th minute. Kevin Savanier crosses the ball in, and Salif Sane opens the scoring and gets his first goal for West Bromwich Albion. Doesn't seem to want to celebrate it, but our giant centre-back, well, he's been out-jumped by Leon Britton in the past, and he's not actually as convincing in the air as you'd expect a 6'4", 6'5" centre-back to be, but on this occasion he just out-jumps everyone. And Petr Cech, to be honest, very surprising from a goalkeeper who's, you know, so solid usually, and you know, for some strange reason grows quite nicely in career mode this year, but even so, he gets nowhere near the ball, and Sane just says, thank you very much, I'm going to pluck that out of the air and head it into the bottom corner. So first goal for the club, and you know, I basically just said to him, you know, you've got to start using that aerial ability of yours, you know, and he finally showed it there, getting his first goal for the club. So 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion, and in the 41st minute here you see Kyle Walker putting Chelsea defenders under pressure, and as Socrates plays a lazy first touch, Walker intercepts him, and there's no way that anyone is catching up with Kyle Walker, but unfortunately Petr Cech makes a very good save there and turns the ball behind. So probably should have scored with the right back, but even so it was still 1-0. And in the 45th minute here, Walker does find Niang down his left hand side. He fake shots round Branislav Ivanovic, and the Serbian can't keep up with Niang as he Berber spins around him, gets himself inside the penalty area and shoots. The shot is blocked, but it falls to Lacazette. He finds Carrillo, and Carrillo is denied by a very good save. It is near post by Cech there. So he was probably at fault for the goal that we scored, but you know, since that he was in good form and looking very strong. But in the 58th minute here, Lacazette tries to find Niang, and Gary Cahill gives the ball away, and Niang plays it back into Lacazette, who's surely going to score. But again, it's another really good save by Petr Cech there, and Chelsea managed to get the ball away as I messed up with him by Niang, and it is still 1-0. So you know, it's one of those games, you know, this is one of those games where it feels as though individual errors can cost you points. I mean, last year Foster made a howler in his fixture and almost cost us 3 points. In the end we got 1, but it was showing, you know, Cech's mistake from the corner coming out and getting nowhere near the ball was at the moment, you know, costing them a single point, as we were going to claim all 3. But you saw there a good chance for Chelsea to hit back and level it, but the shot went wide the post. And in the 70th minute, Felipe Luis finds Nemanja Matic, and the Serbian finds Marco Marin off the bench. Back to Matic, back to Marin. He finds Diego Costa. Costa looks to turn and finds Cesc Fabregas. Back into Costa, who shoots, and Joe Hart is alert and makes a very good save and turns the ball behind for a corner. And in the 80th minute here, Salah's on the ball for Chelsea, and he's looking to turn, looking to find someone. He finds Marco Marin, who crosses the ball in. It's missed by everyone at the far post, but we can't get the ball away. Ivanovic gets onto it down the right hand side. They cross the ball in. The header is saved by Joe Hart, but as you can see, play does stop because Salif Sane, who got his first goal for the club in this game, and was genuinely having quite a good game at the back of our defence, unfortunately unfortunately does get an injury, and as you'll see, he will be out for 4 weeks. So that's a real shame. You know, he's actually been quite inconsistent this year, Sane, but you know, he was having quite a good game in this one, but unfortunately he is now going to be out for 4 weeks. It's not a disaster. We got Mauricio on the bench, you got Vestergaard as a 4th choice centre back, so we'll be okay, but it's still a bit of a shame regardless. And Chelsea almost did grab themselves an equaliser in stoppage time with the last kick of the game. Cesc Fabregas shooting, but the shot went wide and out for a goal kick, and it was how the game would finish as well. So a 1-0 victory to West Bromwich Albion. With 15 games to go, we're now 19 points clear of Chelsea, and quite frankly, in my opinion, they had to win this game. Drawing wouldn't have been good enough, so the fact they lost it, that's pretty much ended all of their title hopes. But still, the last thing you'll see is a transfer offer coming for Vestergaard, and we counter offer it, and we'll wait and see what Southampton say. And as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, because it is much appreciated, and of course, it really, really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.